So I don't know if you're like me, but I do not like change. Now, I think in my mind, I think I do, but really I don't. A couple of ways I know that. I bought a pair of tennis shoes when I was like 16. It was one of those, you know, buy two, get one free or something like that. I haven't thrown them away. And I still wear them, but there's like holes in the bottom of them and stuff. But I just don't want to get rid of them. It's like maybe I'll use these sometime, you know? Another example is I have this backpack that I bought when I was 13 or 14 or 15. And I mean, I've taken it on dozens of camping trips. It took me through college. Every day I would use it as my backpack, carrying my books. Take it to Africa 3 times. I mean, and I go to the store and I see other backpacks and I'm like, oh, actually that would work way better for me, but I just don't want to change from what I've got. I wonder how many of us have that problem spiritually in our relationship with God. We're just not willing to change. You know, there were a lot of people that Jesus met, and that's how they were. And really, they show us pictures of ourselves, I think. There was one group in particular in Mark chapter 2, kind of complicated story. They were asking some questions, but really, if you boil down their issue they have with Jesus, basically what they were asking is, Jesus, why are you not fitting into us? Why are you different than us? Why are you challenging the way we live and the way we act and all of that kind of stuff? And Jesus answers them in Mark chapter 2 and in verse 21 with a couple of kind of random illustrations, to us at least. But Mark chapter 2 and verse 21, Jesus says, no one sews a patch of unshrunk cloth on an old garment. No one puts a new patch on an old garment, in other words. Otherwise, the patch pulls away from it, the new from the old, and a worse tear results. And no one puts new wine into old wineskins. Otherwise, the wine will burst the skins, and the wine is lost, and the skins as well. But one puts new wine into new wineskins. You know, if you took this brand new, unshrunk, unwashed piece of cloth, and you put it on this old, worn-out pair of jeans, you know what could happen is this new is so different from the old that it actually ends up just pulling away and creating an even worse tear than there was in the very first place. The same thing with this whole wine and wineskins thing. You know, back then, they would take these leather skins that they would use as bottles, and they would pour grape drink into the skins, and then they would put that away and let the fermentation process take place. And so what would happen is that as the fermentation happened, the air would expand, the wine and the air would expand in the skin. Well, it was no big deal because the leather skin was still kind of soft, and it would take a while for it to harden. But then once it hardens, if you poured more new wine in, and then that fermentation process happened and the expansion happens and all that, then that skin would burst and you would lose all of your wine and you would lose your wineskin. And Jesus is saying, look, new things don't fit into old things. New things belong to new things, and old things, they fit with old things. And I think his real point is he's saying, look, I am the new thing here. And you're not going to be able to pour me into your old way of doing things. You can't just patch me into your old way of living, and your old way of thinking, and your old way of doing. It's not going to work. If you want to have a relationship with me, if you want me to be poured into your life, if you want me to be sewn into the fabric of your existence, then you're going to have to become new. The way it's said in 2 Corinthians 5 in verse 17 is that all things have been made new. So then I guess my question is, how about you and me? Are we willing to change? Are we willing to be made new so that we can be people who are reaching upward together with Jesus toward heaven?